What is poppin', guys? We are back on the Pokemon Online Team Builder for the next episode of Team Building with Emvee. And for this episode, got a very fresh looking balance team for you all that looks pretty unique. I built it around Mega Blastoise, and I actually brought this Pokemon to the last subscriber live about a few weeks ago, but I saw a bunch of people wanting to see more of this Pokemon, so I figured the best thing to do was to showcase it for a team building video plus a live, which of course will be out in about 24 hours from now. So hopefully you all are looking forward to that. And I also actually have the importable of this team down below, so if you guys want to take that team and try it out and see what you guys think, go for it. Or if you want to make this team along while I go over each Pokemon, you can as well. I mean, what if you guys want that virtual experience? But you know, whatever you guys want. But without further ado, let us just go ahead and hop into the team at hand. So why Blastoise? Why did I choose Blastoise? It's the only Mega Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it's the only Mega Pokemon that can actually Rapid Spin, making it a decent form of hazard control. Has great coverage because of the fact that when it Mega evolves, it gets the ability Mega Launcher, powering up moves like Dark Pulse, Aura Sphere, gets a nice boost to its special attack. Really good Pokemon in that sense. And I mean, it's able to get rid of common spin blockers. For example, Gengar, if it tries to switch in, you can hit that thing up with a Dark Pulse, and you know, feel free to spin after that. I mean, it's a good Pokemon, has good coverage, and is able to deal with you know, spin blockers. Also defoggers. Lottie, Mew, Skarmory, Skarmory, kind of rhyme, but I mean, those Pokemon can't really switch into a Dark Pulse, and plus Scald is just really good versus like stuff like Skarmory. That's pretty much why Blastoise is really good. It can do a whole variety of things. That nice coverage makes it a tough Pokemon to switch in on. Let's just go ahead. In this white box here, by the way, probably some stuff will pop up about each Pokemon, so feel free to also look at that as well. Blastoise, here we go. So we got this nice Blastoise here. I mean, of course its stats are going to be different when it Mega Evolves, but Scald here, basically, you know, your main stab move. Dark Pulse hits stuff like Psychic types, Ghost types, like I mentioned. Aura Sphere is able to actually put in work versus stuff like Ferrothorn, for instance, as well as Kyurem, Mega Gyarados, and it also hits Keldeo for neutral, and Rapid Spin is to keep hazards off of the field. So already down one Pokemon, we already got our hazard control, so that's really good. That's pretty much how this team started off here. So with a Blastoise and Modest Nature, of course, you know, just a max special attack, power through everything pretty much, and that's gonna be the first Pokemon here. Pretty nice Pokemon. Our next Pokemon that we have here that I added was a Garchomp, and I mean, we have a spinner. I figured that the next Pokemon could be some rocks. I needed Stealth Rocks for the team. Has good synergy with Blastoise, so it's able to switch in on those electric moves. Even though they have HP Ice, I'll probably have like another Pokemon to deal with that. But I mean, Garchomp here, very bulky Pokemon, good synergy, good defense. I mean, it can take hits easily from Lopunny and Talonflame, and I'm actually running an extremely defensive set, which is able to avoid 2-hit KO from pretty much like SD Talonflame. I'm pretty sure you can avoid a 2-hit KO from certain sets of those kind. As you can see here, we have a nice spread, nice defensive spread, really bulky, and I've found that this spread is probably one of my favorites now, just because it can take so many hits. Rocky Helmet is of course nice. Running Earthquake here, Earthquake Dragon Tail, always necessary on you know, defensive Rocky Helmet Chomps. Definitely the best move combination for these kinds of Garchomps here. Swords Dance, which is I think I wanted to run this because of the fact that it's able to power through defensive walls. And you know, we're able to set up on Pokemon that could otherwise switch in and pretty much heal up or just stall us out. So SD in that sense is really good with this Garchomp set. Plus, you know, if you SD in Dragon Tail, you're because you're faster than like a Skarmory, for instance, you can't get Whirlwinded. Your Dragon Tail goes first, so that's always nice. And of course, Stealth Rocks, which is the main point of this set, and that's pretty much why I have it. It's a nice Rocky Helmet Garchomp, a little bit more defense than usual, and that's pretty much that. Now, the next Pokemon that I wanted here to go, so basically, I had a Blastoise, had a Garchomp, wanted to take the Fire, Water, Grass approach here, and I figured that'd be pretty nice for this team. And it definitely ended up working out really well. So I have an Amoonguss here. Why do I have an Amoonguss? I have an Amoonguss because it is firstly a great switch into Keldeo. As you can see, Blastoise, Garchomp, they don't really appreciate Keldeo. Keldeo can just pretty much 2-hit KO Blastoise with the Secret Sword, and Blastoise can't really do much back other than Aura Sphere. Garchomp, of course, not a favorable matchup, so Amoonguss here is really good for that. Also good for Rotom Wash. I mean, Rotom like, Blastoise and Garchomp hate Rotom Wash so much, so Amoonguss is really good for that as well. Azumarill and other stuff like that, and I mean, it's just really, it works really well with the team. You're able to spore stuff and things like that. So Giga Drain plus Sludge Bomb is obvious. Let me actually just go into the set real quick here. Giga Drain plus Sludge Bomb, pretty nice. I mean, a lot of Amoongusses, I think all Amoongusses run these two moves here. Pretty self-explanatory. Foul Play here. Okay, so the reason I'm running Foul Play, I was actually running Clear Smog for a while I was testing on the ladder, and I found that Foul Play was actually so much better. Firstly, because it can actually check Gengar, which is nice. It can also check Pokemon that try to SD on you, whereas, like for example, Excadrill, I remember trying to face, I remember facing a team on the ladder. It's not in the live, of course, just testing. But when I changed to Foul Play, it just works so much better because an SD drill just got destroyed by this Foul Play here. Really good versus Pokemon that try to set up on you, as well as high attacking Pokemon that try to switch in. So that's really why you should be running Foul Play. Clear Smog is nice, of course, but I realized that I have a Clefable, so it's unaware, and I don't really need to worry about Pokemon setting up on me, trying to Clear Smog that. So Foul Play is the next best option, of course. And Spore, of course, to put Pokemon to sleep, since it's always nice, it's always nice to put Pokemon to sleep with Amoonguss. That's pretty much the main set that people run in OU, with the exception of Foul Play, which is, I guess, less common. So we got that, and everything else pretty nice. Nice defensive, nice bulk, able to eat up hits and deal with Pokemon. Like for example, it can deal with Altaria pretty nicely, since Sludge Bomb is pretty good versus that. That's going to be Amoonguss here. So we already got 3 Pokemon down. Let's go ahead and explain about Moltres here. So yeah, Moltres. Very unique Pokemon. It makes the team look pretty fresh. Has more bulk than Talonflame, actually, I'm pretty sure. And it has the newly released ability Flame Body, which can get some clutch burns, and it can help the team out a lot. And it helps versus Grass-type Pokemon, like Mega Venusaur, Ferrothorn, and stuff like that, which, I mean, Amoonguss here, since I'm not running HP Fire, Ferrothorn can pretty much switch in and wall it. I mean, I have a Blastoise here, which can destroy Ferrothorn with Aura Sphere. Still not a safe switch into Ferrothorn, though, if they have Power Whip. And Mega Venusaur is just a pretty big threat overall, so Moltres is really good. And it's able to eat up hits pretty nicely. Like, the reason I added Moltres also was because I wanted to build a team around Blastoise and Moltres both. But I was going to save it until now. Moltres is just really cool, and it works really well with Blastoise, since it's just a good Pokemon to switch into a plethora of attacks, and it's very bulky as well. Like Life Orb, Latios, Draco does not even kill it, and Psyshock does like 40 to 50. And Mega Gardevoir, fun fact, Mega Gardevoir Psyshock does less than 50, so nothing can really 2-hit KO it, unless of course Roxor, but we have Blastoise for that. Good spinner, and Pokemon that's really weak to hazards. Good combination. So as you can see here, we have Hurricane here in order to pretty much hit, like I said, Venusaur, Breloom, stuff like that in a Jermaine powerful stat move. Nice special attack. Will-O-Wisp here to burn stuff. Now this is really useful, very useful. You can't always rely on Flame Body, as I've noticed. Flame Body has pretty much not worked at the best of times, but Will-O-Wisp here, nice guaranteed burn right off the bat. Sub and Roost is really good to stall out your opponent. Plus, you can sub on like Sucker Punches, for instance. Will-O-Wisp's Pokemon. Sub can stall out Sand. Sub can pretty much avoid getting status, which is nice. And Roost here is good for longevity, just for healing and stuff like that. Healing, preserving your Moltres, always nice, especially since you're like, quadruple times weak to rock. So you'll take 50% each time you come in. Which I've not really had to do that often since I have a Blastoise, but worst case scenario, you might have to. You got the Roost there, that's great. So very good defenses here, plus the Flame Body, like I said, leftovers for the, preserving Moltres, taking less damage because you're healing a little bit from leftovers there. And that's Moltres here. Nice Firewater Grass Core, that's what we got. So the next Pokemon, so I needed a backup, I guess a backup Fairy Killer, sort of. Also something that's decent versus Kyurem Black, and Jirachi's pretty decent versus that, because Kyurem Black is just, look at it, it just puts in so much work. I'm not Magikarp Clef, so I don't have Spadef. I'm actually Unaware Clef, which you'll soon see. So Kyurem is always a threat. Having this Jirachi is really good, and I'm not like a bulky Jirachi. Oh, I'm kind of bulky. I have some speed though in order to outrun, I I guess Kyrams that run their speed that's like mild or rash or something like that. It's not like plus speed nature. So let me explain why I have Jirachi first. Yeah, but like I said, versus fairy types, Kyrams, and stuff like that, and it actually puts in some decent work versus Stall. And the reason that it does that is because, well, I mean, like Rocky Helmet Skarm is probably the only thing that can really stop this thing. I have here a sub-toxic Ironhead Fire Punch, so that even Quack gets stalled down and flinched to death. You know, Chansey does. Like I could probably flinch Sableye down pretty nicely. The only problem is probably like Rocky Helmet Skarm, like I said, which we have other things for, you know, like Moltres, like SD up with, or we have a Blastoise too, which is pretty nice. This set is really good, really nice set. It's I used to always like, I think like back in X and Y, I ran a very similar set that I actually used versus in like the PO World Cup, I think, or I think it was a World Cup, I'm pretty sure, for Pokemon Online, long time ago. Actually, just I single-handedly just 6-0'd with this Jirachi set, but I mean it's nice. I'm running Toxic though because it's so good versus Pokemon that can switch into it. Like for example, Rotom Wash, which doesn't get paralyzed, electric types. Slowbro, which can easily regenerate and stuff like that, doesn't really get impacted by Ironhead. And we can just Ironhead and flinch stuff down. Fire Punch here, of course, is for stuff like Scizors, Ferrothorns, having the nice chance of burning. Toxic Sub to stall things out. Great set for this team. And finally, the last Pokemon we have here is a Clefable. And I figured that the Wish Protect Unaware set was going to be really good for this team, just to seal everything up and make everything nice, just because, you know, Blastoise doesn't have recovery, having that Wish is nice. So same for Garchomp. It has Heal Bell too. It has Heal Bell, which is so good because Pokemon like Jirachi, Garchomp, Blastoise get easily status sometimes, like with Will-O-Wisp and things like that, if you don't sub properly with Jirachi, or, you know, Garchomp gets easily Will-O-Wisped a lot, as does Blastoise, because, you know, it gets whittled down pretty quickly. Amoonguss doesn't really like a burn. Clefable just heal bells, and it just makes everything nice, and, you know, heals up the team, preserves them. So this is like a more balanced team, of course. This is not like offense, probably not bulky offense. This is just balance. This is a nice balanced team. And I mean, Clefable just, it gives you like a Pokemon that can pretty much switch into Pokemon that try to set up on you. So that's the main reason I don't have Clear Smog on Amoonguss, is because I have a Clefable which is unaware. So prevents setup sweepers like Manaphy, for instance, and it's a solid Pokemon, pretty solid indeed. Let's just go ahead and look at this thing real quick, I guess. Yeah, I already explained it pretty much before I even went into it. But as you can see, very defensive spread, unaware, and it's nice. It's a good Pokemon. You know, heal up the team. Heal Bell, which can, of course, clear status. Moonblast, just a nice stab move to hit, you know, Garchomp, Latias, and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got for this. And so versus offense, unaware Clef stops setup sweepers pretty nicely. We have a lot of great switch-ins to a lot of common threats, which is good. And you know, offensive teams can't really switch in too well on Mega Blastoise, so that puts in a lot of work. Versus balance, no problem at all. Mega Blastoise can punch through stuff pretty nicely. Sub-Wisp Moltres puts in work, so does SD Chomp and Rachi. Versus stall, I mean, it could be a little trickier, but Blastoise can hit things pretty hard. Sub-Toxic Rachi beats pretty much everything except defensive Skarmory with Rocky Helmet. But I mean, you have other ways to shut down Skarmory. Don't have to worry about your team getting whittled down because you have a Wish Cleric Clefable. So it's not like you can really mess up versus stall unless you let a win condition die. Versus weather teams, no problem. Rain and sand are dealt with are pretty much dealt with the likes of Chomp, Amoonguss, Clef, Blastoise, and stuff like that. So overall, solid team. Once again, the live is coming in about 24 hours. Let me know what you guys think. Always looking forward to hearing from you guys. And feel free to try the team out. Like I said, the importable is down below. Let me know your thoughts. And don't be that one guy that says, "Oh, you get 6-0 by Weavile," or something like that. I always get at least one comment like that. At least one. I don't know. It's pretty funny though. I don't mind. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys on the live that's coming out in 24 hours. Peace.